Let me take you back for a moment. I want you to rewind your mind back to before the pandemic. Most people provided mental health services in a way that looked like this. A therapist, I have an office space, clients come into my office, I spend an hour meeting with them, and I see them next week, or maybe 2 weeks from now, or once a month check in as they're winding down from, their treatment plan or the services that I'm providing. Right? Pretty standard, pretty familiar. And most of us started out our journey as mental health professionals believing that those in-person sessions were like the standard, the most ethical way to provide services, and it was a reliable way to maintain clients and to provide a quality of care for them. But then all of a sudden, here comes a pandemic. And what we've become, what we were accustomed to was just no longer available, right? Like it just was not feasible for you to sit in a small room with someone, even with your mask on. People just didn't feel comfortable. Can you remember, how things shifted? And we saw a few things change that have actually created a shift to a new normal in the way that we deliver mental health services. One shift that I saw big time is that more people were willing to hang their shingle and become therapists in private practice. I think that barrier to entry just made it that much easier for people to go for it. And so, in order to set up your practice, you didn't need to go and sign a lease for a 3-year office space. You literally could hang your shingle by creating a nice virtual office for yourself and engaging with your clients, right? And so, it was that quality of life even became better. Instead of feeling burned out, traveling here and there, you literally were able to create a seamless lifestyle for yourself at home, providing therapy services. Another shift that I saw, and trust me, I talked to people who own group practices. We felt the pain of therapists not really being as interested in working for group practices because they were being brave and willing to stretch themselves to create their own businesses. And by doing so, it meant that group practices had to find ways to kind of make themselves competitive with people doing this on their own. And so, for the first time, therapists were able to dictate their own time and schedule and really expand their capacity for serving clients. And that business model, it really did start to honor our own sense of work-life balance and autonomy. And quite honestly, was good for the mental health of the mental health provider, right? Now, I want you to know that that was just one shift that kind of changed status quo in the way mental health services are delivered. And I am already sensing that there is another on the way. The truth is, both mental health providers and the clients are looking for more. We are looking for unique ways to engage with our clients because that sitting down 6 hours a day, seeing clients back to back, hour after hour, no matter even if you do have good clinical stamina, after a while, that model is becoming a bit dry and redundant for some therapists, right? And honestly, some clients are looking for new and different ways to receive mental health services. They're willing to attend intensives or retreats or learn from practitioners in different ways, right? And so, one of the things that I'm noticing as we're in the second phase of that shift is that therapy is beginning to go beyond the couch. New ways to help people on their healing journey without it being an hour a week in an office bucket. What does that mean for you as a mental health professional? Well, though that means that a lot of those ideas that you've had on your entrepreneurial journey, things that you've wanted to do, they're much more feasible for you. And I think it's important that we start to explore this opportunity because I'm noticing that a lot of therapists, even those that are in private practice for themselves, where that autonomy seemed like the answer, even they are feeling the constriction, right? Only being able to earn money in an hour, exchange for time. So people are looking not only to earn more money, to gain some of their time back, but also to have a bigger impact on the clients that they're committed to serving. And that bigger impact sometimes is going to pull you outside of the traditional model of therapy. Here's the good news. You absolutely have what it takes to begin leveraging your expertise as a mental health professional and starting to do more of those unique things that you see other therapists doing. I know you see them. I know you see mental health professionals out here who maybe they have large followings on social media, or maybe they're exploring media opportunities, being featured as mental health guests on talk shows or on other kinds of television programming. Or maybe you see people writing books that are having big impact, or making workbooks or courses for people to engage in. All kinds of passive income products that are available for mental health professionals to create when they are clear about the work that they can do. We see people engaging in speaking engagements, right? Or maybe working as a consultant in corporate spaces. Literally could go on and on about the kinds of opportunities that are available if you're willing to start leveraging your expertise differently, right? Now, a lot of times when I'm talking to therapists, I know they're excited about these possibilities. I can see them, I can hear them seeing the things that other people are doing and feeling like, I can do that. Like that can happen for me. And I want you to know it's true. It absolutely can happen for you, but it's going to require you to step outside of your comfort zone a bit and do things a bit differently. I know how hard it is to do something brand new. When you're out there as a trailblazer trying to figure out how to do something that you've never done before, it can be a little overwhelming, right? Because the truth is, trailblazers don't have templates. We don't have a set way of getting things done when we're doing something new. But I want you to understand this. That doesn't mean it can't be done. It just means that our approach might have to shift a little. Just like our approach shifted to providing mental health services when we couldn't be in, brick and mortar office spaces with people. Our approach to developing a business that's beyond the mental health, hour providing services in person, that approach is going to be different to build that business too. So it requires you to be brave enough to build an original business, something that no one else is doing, something that maybe you've not seen others kind of, doing, and you'll have to figure out a way to create that for yourself. Now, that means you've got to be seen, not just as a mental health provider, but as an expert in the field. Because that positioning to being an expert is the very thing that's going to allow you to create a greater platform for yourself and the services that you want to provide, right? And so that's kind of where I have noticed therapists finding their edge. There's something beautiful that happens when you are clear about your niche and you've created a brand around that niche that allows you to kind of confidently put yourself out there as an expert and say, I can do these things, right? When you are not suffering with website shame, or you're not figuring out what you have to say with messaging, but when you really are able to put together a cohesive, well-designed website that positions you as an expert online, you can start to put other offers out there that will attract the attention of your ideal client. And I promise you, those ideal clients are looking for you. They're looking for unique and different ways for you to show up so that they can kind of have other experiences on their healing journey. It's so true. So when it's time for you to create this brand and put yourself out there as an expert, you're going to have an opportunity to make bigger and bolder offers. That's just the truth of it. I'll give you an example. I had a client maybe about 4 years ago who she was interested in working with couples. And a lot of times those couples had scheduling conflicts, especially if they were busy professional couples that, had a lot of children in the house, or trying to figure out what to do with scheduling with this one's got to go to soccer and I got to pick this person up for school. And what about dinner? But they knew that their marriage needed support, right? And so what she did for these couples, it was such a cool way that we created this. She designed an intensive for these couples where in a weekend time, just like they might have a weekend away as a date or whatever, a trip for themselves. In that weekend away, they did some intensive work on themselves as couples. They were able to fully unplug from the environment of their home and focus just on their relationship for a moment. And so the way she designed the offer, it had some pre-work associated with it, right? Where maybe they did a little assessment, filled out some forms individually so that she could kind of come with some, to the intensive with some things to have them work on. And then I think she spent about a 6 hour block of time with them on a Saturday and maybe a small little follow up on Sunday morning. And then she created a playbook for them. This playbook was based on all the work they'd done together during that intensive. And that playbook was given to them as a way for them to kind of follow up and keep moving forward with the things that they unearthed during their time together. And then she created a follow-up session, maybe 60 days out, a follow-up to see how are things going with that implementation. That is a great kind of format for a high ticket offer that professional couples would love. Think about the things that you could do in your business when you're clear about your niche, what their challenges are, and you kind of start leveraging some of the creative and unique ways that you can serve them, right? So I want you to know that that's an example of what's available when we stretch ourselves. So I have a question for you. This year, are you willing to show up bolder? Are you willing to show up bigger? Are you willing to go beyond the couch and start doing some of those things that are going to help you really to position yourself as an expert in the field by doing something that's a little bit different than the status quo? If you are, I guarantee you that although it may take some marketing strategies for you to get yourself out there, you're going to be able to create an audience that's interested in what you're working with to position you as an expert so you can do work that you enjoy. Now, we're talking about work that's not only helping you to make money and have an impact, but really things that are satisfying and unique. That's what's available for mental health professionals now. And as we keep on riding this wave of change, just know that there'll be more and more opportunities for therapists to show up and do the work that we've come to this field to do. I hope this was helpful. I love helping therapists think outside of the box about the kinds of opportunities that are available for them on their entrepreneurial journey. So if this is your first time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, see me in the comments and let me know how this one lands or if there's other things you'd like for us to talk about here at Perfected Practice. Look, take good care of yourself, take good care of your clients, and of course, let's take good care of business.